Have you ever sensed a silent call from within, as if a part of you beyond time is reaching out? What if I told you that your future self is sending you a signal right now, whispering possibilities and promising transformation? The question is simple yet profound. Will you answer that call? Many years ago, I found myself wrestling with doubts about my own destiny. One night, as I closed my eyes, I distinctly felt a presence, a version of myself wiser and fulfilled, beckoning me to step into a new reality. It was not a dream, but a vivid experience of connection, a signal from the future demanding my attention. I realized then that my future self was already living what I sought, waiting only for me to believe and embody that state. This moment transformed everything. It taught me that your future self is not a distant figure, but an ever-present reality, inviting you to align with it now. Your imagination holds the power to answer this signal, and in doing so, shape your destiny with intention. The very essence of your being is calling out through the corridors of time. Your future self, the highest expression of who you are destined to become, is reaching out, sending a signal that vibrates through your present moment. This is no ordinary call. It is the silent message of possibility and transformation, the invitation to consciously step into your becoming. When you connect with your future self, you awaken the power of self-transformation. Understanding this connection requires embracing the power of imagination, the creative force that transcends past and present limitations. Through vivid visualization and deep feeling, you invite your subconscious mind to accept the reality of your future self. This is the gateway to manifestation techniques that shift your personal growth journey from mere hope into intentional living. Your future self carries the wisdom of lessons yet to be learned and the confidence of a destiny fulfilled. When you tune into this inner calling, you break free from the chains of your current self-identity and open doors to mindset transformation. This process is not just about seeing the future, but becoming it in your present consciousness. Manifesting this reality demands a deep meditation practice, future self-meditation, that aligns your subconscious mind with your highest potential. By regularly visualizing and embodying the qualities of your future self, you unlock your potential and clear the path toward conscious creation. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between actual and imagined experiences. When you hold the image of your future self with conviction, it impresses your subconscious, which then orchestrates circumstances that mirror this new reality. This is the secret to changing your destiny. You do not wait for life to hand it to you, but deliberately sculpt it with your inner vision. Intentional living becomes the foundation of your transformation. Every choice, every thought, and every feeling aligns with the vision of your future self. The higher self guidance you receive becomes unmistakable, leading you step by step toward the life you are meant to live. In answering the signal of your future self, you are engaging in a sacred dialogue with the infinite within you. This dialogue shapes not only your outer world, but the very essence of your being, elevating your consciousness and anchoring you in the reality you have imagined. Your future self is an active presence, constantly sending signals through your imagination and feeling. The power of imagination is a creative tool that bridges your present to your future. Manifestation techniques, grounded in visualization and feeling, activate subconscious alignment. Personal growth is accelerated by embracing your future self as your current identity. Future self meditation rewires your subconscious mind for success and fulfillment. Your subconscious mind responds only to what you deeply believe and feel as true. Intentional living with clear focus allows higher self-guidance to direct your path. Answering the call of your future self transforms your destiny from passive waiting to active creation. Have you ever paused to consider that your future self is not a distant, unreachable figure, but an ever-present reality whispering to you through your imagination and feelings? This future self, the highest expression of who you are meant to become, is constantly sending signals to your present awareness. These signals come not as loud commands, but as subtle nudges, vibrations of possibility that move through your mind and heart, beckoning you to awaken to your true potential. The moment you realize that your future self is actively present, you begin to understand the profound power you wield. You are not merely a passive observer of time's passage, waiting for fate to unfold. Instead, you are a conscious participant in the creative process of your life, invited to receive and respond to the call from the future that lies within you now. This call is transmitted through the faculty of imagination, which acts as the bridge between what is and what can be. Your imagination is not a playground for idle thoughts. It is the very workshop where your future reality is fashioned. When you feel an inner impulse toward growth, success, or transformation, you are receiving a signal from the future self, a version of you that has already embodied those qualities. This inner vision exists independently of your present circumstances, and it beckons you to move beyond limitations imposed by your current beliefs or external situations. To listen to this signal requires a shift in awareness. Most people mistake their external reality as the sole truth, but in truth, your external world is merely a mirror reflecting your inner state. When your inner world vibrates with the certainty of your future self's presence, your external reality will begin to align accordingly. This is not an abstract idea, but a practical principle. Your feelings are the language through which the future self communicates. When you feel the emotions of that future fulfilled self now, joy, confidence, peace, you tune into the frequency of that reality. It is essential to understand that this communication from your future self is continuous and accessible at all times. It speaks to you in moments of quiet reflection, through dreams, and in the images that come unbidden to your mind's eye. These impressions are not random, but deliberate signals designed to guide your evolution. Recognizing and trusting these signals is the first step toward transforming your life. The process of receiving this call and responding to it can be cultivated through deliberate practice. By intentionally quieting the chatter of doubt and external distraction, you create space for these signals to become clear. Meditation, visualization, and focused contemplation serve as the gateways to this inner dialogue. When you engage your imagination with vivid sensory detail, you allow the future self to fully express itself within your consciousness. This inner connection is not passive. It requires active participation. You must choose to dwell in the awareness of your future self as if it is already a living reality. This means imagining with feeling, seeing yourself succeeding, growing, or healing with such intensity that your subconscious mind accepts it as fact. The subconscious then takes over as the silent architect, working behind the scenes to bring these inner convictions into outward manifestation. Consider this. Every great change in your life begins with a moment of recognition, a decision to align yourself with a higher version of who you are. This is the signal your future self sends to awaken you from the slumber of limitation. By heeding this call, you shift from being a product of your past to becoming a creator of your future. Doubts and fears may arise, but they are merely echoes of old programming that seek to anchor you in former realities. The future self signal cuts through these illusions by anchoring you in a feeling of certainty and peace. This feeling is the key that unlocks the door to your becoming. As you consistently return your attention to this feeling, you strengthen the connection and allow the creative power of your imagination to flourish. Moreover, the relationship with your future self is one of partnership. It is a sacred dialogue where guidance is exchanged. Your present self brings awareness and choice, while your future self brings vision and wisdom. Together, they collaborate to shape your path forward. This dynamic exchange is what transforms vague desires into concrete realities. In practical terms, this means that when you find yourself faced with decisions or challenges, pause and listen for the inner signal. What would your future self do? What qualities would they embody in this moment? By adopting the perspective and feelings of that future self, you activate the process of becoming. Your actions begin to reflect your higher state, and circumstances start to rearrange in harmony with your vision. This understanding elevates you beyond mere reaction to life's events. Instead, you engage as a co-creator, actively molding your reality from within. The signal of your future self is a call to awaken your creative power, to recognize that the timeline of your life is not fixed, but fluid, shaped moment by moment through your conscious attention. As you practice receiving and answering this call, you will notice a deepening of trust in the unseen. You will recognize that the future self is not a distant dream, but a present guide, an intimate part of your being, always available to lead you toward fulfillment. Remember, the power lies not in external conditions, but in your inner response. By tuning into the signals from your future self and embodying their reality through imagination and feeling, you step into the role of the deliberate creator of your destiny. This is the essence of transformation, recognizing that your future self is already present, calling to you with infinite possibilities, and that your choice to answer will determine the life you live. The power of imagination is the divine creative force within you, the sacred tool by which you bridge the present moment with the infinite possibilities of your future. It is not a mere faculty for fanciful thoughts or idle daydreaming. Rather, it is the very mechanism through which realities are born. To understand this power is to awaken to your true role as the architect of your own life. Imagination transcends the limits imposed by the physical senses and temporal constraints. It allows you to step beyond what is seen and known into the realm of what can be. This invisible realm is not a fantasy, but a living, breathing dimension where your future self already exists, complete with all the qualities, achievements, and states of being you desire. When you engage your imagination fully and consciously, you activate a force that brings these unseen realities into manifestation. The process begins with the conscious use of imagination to form a clear, vivid picture of your desired state. This picture must be rich in detail, encompassing the sights, sounds, feelings, and even the tastes and smells that would accompany your fulfillment. The more sensory involvement you bring into this mental creation, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. This is the key. Your subconscious cannot differentiate between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. It accepts your imaginative acts as reality, and from this acceptance, the creative process unfolds. Many live unaware of this great power, allowing their imagination to be filled with fears, doubts, and limitations. Yet the very same faculty that creates these negative experiences can be harnessed to forge the life you seek. By consciously directing your imagination toward positive, empowering visions of your future self, you impress upon your subconscious a new blueprint for your existence. This blueprint becomes the foundation upon which your external reality is built. It is not enough to wish or hope. True creation requires feeling. The emotions you associate with your imagined reality are the vital current that charges your mental image with life. Joy, gratitude, confidence, and peace are the languages your imagination speaks most clearly to the subconscious. When these feelings accompany your mental scenes, they resonate deeply, awakening the inner forces that align your external world with your inner vision. Imagination thus becomes an act of faith. Faith not in external proofs, but in the unseen power within. It is the certainty that your future self is not a distant dream, but an actual state, accessible through the creative faculties you possess now. This certainty, felt deeply, overrides any contradicting evidence from the senses, and begins to rewrite the story your subconscious tells about who you are. The transformative potential of imagination is further realized when it is used persistently and deliberately. Repetition impresses the subconscious with the reality of your vision until it can no longer resist manifesting it outwardly. This is why the practice of imagining your future self regularly, especially in a relaxed state such as just before sleep, is so effective. In these moments, the conscious mind is quieted and the subconscious readily absorbs the impressions you provide. As you continue to nurture this inner vision, you will find that your actions naturally align with the identity you have assumed through imagination. Your behaviors, decisions, and attitudes begin to mirror those of your future self, creating a seamless integration between your inner and outer worlds. This integration is the true measure of successful manifestation. It is not simply acquiring external objects or status, but embodying the essence of who you are becoming. Moreover, imagination is not limited by logic or linear time. It invites you to participate in the timeless creative process, where cause and effect are reversed and the end is present before the means. By imagining the end result vividly, you cause the conditions necessary for its realization to arise in your present experience. This principle challenges conventional thinking, but stands as a cornerstone of conscious creation. Recognizing imagination as your creative power shifts your perspective on life. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as a master creator, capable of designing your destiny with deliberate intent. This realization demands responsibility and discipline, as your imagination must be cultivated and directed with clarity and purpose. In practical terms, this means being mindful of the thoughts and images you entertain throughout your day. Are they reinforcing the life you desire, or are they perpetuating patterns you wish to escape? The power of imagination works equally well in either case, and it is your choice to wield it wisely. It is also essential to understand that imagination thrives best when freed from anxiety and doubt. These negative states create conflicting signals that confuse the subconscious and delay manifestation. Instead, imagination flourishes in states of relaxation, trust, and expectancy. Cultivating these feelings enhances your creative effectiveness and aligns you more closely with your future self. Ultimately, the power of imagination is the key to unlocking your highest potential. It bridges the gap between the life you have now and the life you are destined to live. By embracing this sacred faculty, you open the door to infinite possibilities, inviting your future self to take form within your present reality. This creative process is not abstract philosophy, but a practical, living truth, accessible to all who dare to imagine and feel beyond their present limitations. When you learn to harness the power of imagination, you claim your role as the conscious creator of your destiny, answering the call of your future self with clarity, faith, and inspired action. The practice of manifestation techniques, rooted in visualization and feeling, is a profound and transformative discipline. It is through these practices that the invisible becomes visible, and the unseen seeds of desire are planted firmly within the fertile soil of the subconscious mind, from which they inevitably grow into tangible reality. Understanding and mastering these techniques is essential to bridging the gap between where you are and where your future self is calling you to be. Manifestation begins with the clear and deliberate act of visualization. This is not a fleeting glance or a vague daydream, but a sustained and detailed mental experience. When you visualize, you engage all your senses, seeing the scene as vividly as if it were real, hearing the sounds that accompany it, feeling the textures, tasting the flavors, and even smelling the scents that belong to this imagined reality. This sensory fullness breathes life into your vision, making it tangible to your inner being. Visualization alone, however, is not sufficient. The core of manifestation lies in the accompanying feeling. Feeling is the secret language of creation. It is the emotional currency that imbues your mental images with power. Without feeling, visualization remains a mere mental exercise, lacking the vital force that compels the subconscious to act. When you combine clear, sensory-rich images with deep, genuine emotions, such as gratitude, joy, or the peaceful assurance of fulfillment, you ignite a creative energy that the subconscious mind cannot ignore. This energy, charged by feeling, sets in motion a profound transformation within. The subconscious mind, which governs habits, beliefs, and bodily functions, accepts the impressions it receives as truth. It does not question the authenticity of your feelings or images, but assimilates them as real experiences. Consequently, your subconscious mind adjusts your perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors to align with these new impressions, reshaping your reality accordingly. Manifestation techniques that harness this principle require disciplined practice. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper that directs imagination and feeling, but it is the subconscious that executes the creative blueprint. Therefore, repetition and consistency are key. By revisiting your visualization and the accompanying feeling regularly, ideally daily or nightly, you reinforce the new reality within your subconscious. This steady reinforcement eventually overrides limiting beliefs and old patterns, clearing the path for your desires to materialize. One of the most potent moments to engage in these manifestation practices is just before sleep. In this state, the conscious mind begins to relax and relinquish control, allowing the subconscious to absorb suggestions without resistance. If you carry your desired scene imbued with feeling into the moment of sleep, you impress the subconscious deeply. This act is akin to planting a seed that grows continuously while you rest, growing roots unseen until it bursts forth into your waking life. It is vital to understand that manifestation is not a magical instant. It is a process that unfolds in divine timing, dependent on the clarity and intensity of your inner work. Impatience or doubt weakens the power of your visualization and feeling, sending conflicting signals that confuse the subconscious. Therefore, faith and persistence are indispensable companions on this path. Trust that your future self is already present within you, and that your focused inner work will bring that reality forth. Manifestation techniques also teach you to live in the state of having already achieved your desire. By embodying the feeling of fulfillment now, you transcend the waiting and wishing stage and take your place in the reality you seek. This shift in consciousness changes everything. Instead of being pulled by unmet needs, you become magnetized by the satisfaction of your imagined state. This magnetism attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that mirror your inner conviction. Moreover, manifestation through visualization and feeling is a holistic process. It affects not only your external world, but your entire being. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your body more aligned with the energy of your fulfilled self. This transformation radiates outward, influencing your relationships and environment, and often bringing about unexpected blessings. While many focus solely on visualizing material gains or external success, the true power of manifestation lies in the transformation of self. Your future self is not merely a new set of possessions or achievements, but a renewed identity, one that reflects your highest values, purpose, and joy. Manifestation techniques guide you to this realization, teaching you that the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. Finally, mastering these techniques invites you into an intimate relationship with your creative power. It is a dance between conscious intention and subconscious acceptance, between feeling and form, between imagination and reality. As you refine this art, you become more adept at discerning the signals from your future self and responding to them with inspired action and unwavering faith. In this way, manifestation is not a distant hope, but a present reality waiting to be claimed. It is the process by which you answer the call of your future self, stepping fully into the life you were always meant to live. Embracing your future self as your current identity is one of the most profound steps you can take on the journey of personal transformation. This shift requires you to transcend the limitations of your present self-image and fully embody the qualities, beliefs, and emotions of the person you are destined to become. It is not a distant aspiration, but an immediate reality waiting to be accepted and lived. Your self-identity is the lens through which you perceive and interpret every experience. It shapes your thoughts, feelings, and actions, creating a feedback loop that continually reinforces your current state of being. If you remain anchored in the identity of a person, constrained by doubt, fear, or limitation, your external reality will reflect these inner boundaries. However, when you consciously choose to identify with your future self, who is confident, successful, and fulfilled, you recalibrate this lens, allowing new possibilities to emerge. This process is not about pretending or wishful thinking. It is about genuine transformation of consciousness. You must cultivate a deep conviction that your future self is not a fantasy, but a real and accessible dimension of your being. This conviction is strengthened through consistent mental and emotional practice, where you align your inner dialogue, beliefs, and feelings with this higher identity. Living as your future self means adopting their perspective in every moment. When challenges arise, ask yourself, how would my future self respond? What decisions would they make? What feelings would they maintain? By answering these questions sincerely, you begin to internalize new patterns of thought and behavior that support your growth. This identification also reshapes your relationship with time. Instead of seeing your future as something far away, you recognize it as an extension of your present self. Time becomes fluid, and your sense of self expands beyond current circumstances. You begin to act from the end, carrying the essence of your fulfilled self into today, thereby collapsing the distance between who you are and who you are becoming. The subconscious mind plays a pivotal role in this transformation. It accepts and manifests what it believes to be true. By embodying your future self's identity in feeling and thought, you impress this reality upon your subconscious. Over time, this impression rewires habitual responses and inclinations, allowing you to naturally behave in alignment with your desired state. This shift in identity leads to profound changes in your daily life. Your confidence grows, your decisions become clearer, and your resilience strengthens. You no longer react to circumstances out of old conditioning, but respond from a place of empowered choice. This new mode of being attracts experiences and opportunities that resonate with your elevated state. It is important to remember that embodying your future self requires patience and persistence. Old identities are deeply ingrained and may resist change. Moments of doubt and regression are natural but need not deter you. Each time you return to the consciousness of your future self, you reinforce the new identity and weaken the hold of the past. Practical exercises, such as visualization and affirmations, support this process. By providing mental and emotional rehearsal, imagine yourself living as your future self with all its qualities, and affirm your new identity with conviction. These practices anchor your transformation in the subconscious, facilitating its expression in the physical world. Moreover, this approach fosters self-love and acceptance. By recognizing your future self as a true part of who you are, you nurture a compassionate relationship with your current self, understanding that growth is a natural unfolding rather than a battle against your present state. This kindness fuels your journey and sustains motivation. The alignment with your future self also enhances your clarity of purpose. When you live as this higher version of yourself, your goals and desires become sharper and more meaningful. You are guided by an inner compass that points toward your highest good, enabling you to navigate life's complexities with confidence and grace. In essence, embracing your future self as your present identity is an act of faith in your own potential and the creative power of your consciousness. It dissolves the barriers of limitation and invites you to step fully into the reality you wish to experience. Through this shift, you become the living embodiment of your dreams, transforming not only your life, but the very fabric of your being. Future self-meditation is a profound practice that serves as a direct channel to the inner landscape where your highest potential already exists. Through this meditative process, you consciously invite the presence of your future self into the present moment, creating a sacred space for transformation and alignment. It is not merely a relaxation technique, but a powerful tool for reprogramming the subconscious mind and stepping into the reality you desire. When you engage in future self meditation, you begin by quieting the outer world and turning your awareness inward. In this state of focused calm, your mind becomes fertile ground for the seeds of your envisioned future to take root. The practice invites you to vividly imagine the life you aspire to live, embodying the feelings, thoughts, and sensations that accompany your fulfilled state. This immersive experience bridges the gap between who you are now and who you are becoming. The key to effective future self-meditation lies in the richness of sensory detail and the depth of feeling. It is not enough to simply picture an image. You must fully engage your senses as if you were already living that reality. Feel the joy, peace, and confidence that your future self embodies. Hear the sounds, see the colors, and sense the environment surrounding you. This multisensory engagement impresses the subconscious mind with undeniable certainty, creating an energetic blueprint that guides your waking life. The subconscious mind, ever receptive to imagery and emotion, absorbs these impressions and begins to restructure your inner beliefs and habitual patterns. Since the subconscious governs much of your behavior and perception, this realignment naturally manifests outwardly in your thoughts, actions, and circumstances. Future self-meditation thus functions as a bridge between inner transformation and external change. Consistency in practice enhances the effectiveness of future self-meditation. By dedicating regular time to this inner communion, you deepen your connection to the qualities and wisdom of your future self. Over time, this connection becomes a wellspring of inspiration, guidance, and resilience, supporting you through challenges and decisions. It reminds you that the future you seek is not distant or abstract, but accessible and real within your consciousness. This meditative process also shifts your relationship with time and possibility. Instead of perceiving your future as a linear progression determined by external events, you come to see it as a dimension you can access at any moment. Future self-meditation allows you to step beyond the constraints of past conditioning and present circumstances, entering a state where change is immediate and certain. Engaging in this practice regularly trains your mind to dwell in the end, the state of fulfillment, rather than in the lack or struggle that often dominates daily experience. This shift in focus rewires your mental and emotional patterns, fostering a sense of peace and assurance that transcends external conditions. It enables you to move through life with greater clarity, purpose, and confidence. Furthermore, future self-meditation fosters a deep sense of self-love and acceptance. As you connect with your highest potential, you recognize the inherent worth and divinity within yourself. This recognition softens resistance and opens the heart to transformation, making the journey not a struggle, but a natural unfolding of your true nature. The practice also enhances your intuitive faculties. As you commune with your future self, you become more attuned to inner guidance and subtle signals from your higher consciousness. This heightened awareness helps you make decisions aligned with your highest good and navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom. Incorporating future self-meditation into your daily routine can be simple yet profoundly impactful. Begin with a quiet space, comfortable posture, and focused intention. Visualize your future self with vivid clarity, engage your senses fully, and immerse yourself in the feelings of having already achieved your desires. Allow this experience to fill you completely before gently returning your awareness to the present moment. Remember that patience and persistence are vital. Transformation is a gradual process, and each session of meditation strengthens the connection to your future self and the blueprint for your desired reality. Trust in this inner work, knowing that it sets in motion unseen forces that support your unfolding. Ultimately, future self-meditation is an act of conscious creation. It empowers you to transcend limitations, embody your highest potential, and shape your destiny with clarity and purpose. By stepping into the presence of your future self regularly, you answer the call that beckons you toward the life you were always meant to live. The subconscious mind is the silent architect of your life, the unseen power that shapes your experience according to the impressions it receives. It is the storehouse of beliefs, memories, and habits, governing much of your behavior and perception without your conscious awareness. Understanding how the subconscious mind responds only to what you deeply believe and feel as true is key to unlocking the creative potential within you. Your conscious mind may entertain many thoughts throughout the day, but it is the subconscious that ultimately determines what manifests in your reality. This mind does not reason or debate. It accepts as fact whatever impression is most strongly impressed upon it. It cannot distinguish between an actual event and a vividly imagined one, nor does it question the feelings accompanying those impressions. This means that your internal world of belief and feeling directly informs your external world of experience. To harness this truth, it is essential to cultivate beliefs and feelings that align with the reality you wish to create. When you hold doubt, fear, or limitation as your internal truth, the subconscious faithfully brings forth circumstances that reflect these states. Conversely, when you deeply believe in your future self, when you feel the certainty and joy of your desired reality, the subconscious begins to reorient your life toward those impressions. The process of impressing the subconscious is both deliberate and consistent. It requires a repeated mental and emotional rehearsal of the states you desire to inhabit. This is why visualization, combined with feeling, is so powerful. The sensory-rich images, coupled with genuine emotion, create vivid impressions that the subconscious readily accepts. Over time, these impressions become the foundation of new beliefs, replacing outdated and disempowering patterns. This transformation is not always immediate, as the subconscious mind operates according to patterns established over years or even lifetimes. Old beliefs can resist change, manifesting as doubts, negative thoughts, or conflicting emotions. Recognizing these resistances as temporary and not reflective of your true potential is vital. Patience and persistence in reaffirming your desired state strengthen the new impressions, gradually overriding the old. It is also important to be mindful of your inner dialogue and habitual thought patterns. The subconscious absorbs not only your deliberate visualizations, but also your daily self-talk and emotional responses. Negative or limiting self-statements can sabotage your creative efforts by reinforcing unwanted beliefs. Becoming aware of these patterns allows you to consciously replace them with affirmations and feelings that support your future self. Sleep and the moments before sleep are particularly fertile times for impressing the subconscious. In these states, the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes more receptive. Carrying the feeling of your desired state into these times amplifies the impression, facilitating deeper acceptance and integration. This is why consistent nightly practice of visualization and feeling is recommended for effective transformation. Moreover, the subconscious mind governs not only mental and emotional states, but also physiological processes. This connection explains why changes in belief can lead to improvements in health, energy, and overall well-being. When the subconscious aligns with a vision of vitality and wholeness, the body naturally responds in kind, reflecting the inner harmony. Understanding that the subconscious accepts only what it truly believes invites a careful stewardship of your inner environment. It calls for a conscious choice about what you expose yourself to, both internally and externally. Surrounding yourself with supportive influences and engaging in practices that uplift your state helps maintain clarity and focus on your desired reality. This principle also emphasizes the importance of faith. Faith, not in external circumstances, but in the unseen creative power within. Faith is the feeling of assurance that your desired state is already true, despite current appearances. It is this feeling that impresses the subconscious most deeply, becoming the catalyst for change. In practical application, this means living as if your desired reality is already a fact. Embodying the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors of your future self sends a clear message to the subconscious. Over time, this alignment reshapes your experiences, drawing into your life the people, opportunities, and conditions that reflect your inner conviction. It is a continuous process of conscious creation where you become increasingly aware of the impressions you plant within yourself. This awareness empowers you to take responsibility for your inner world, knowing that it is the source of your outer circumstances. Ultimately, the subconscious mind is your faithful servant, responding not to wishful thinking, but to deeply held belief and feeling. By mastering the art of impressing it with your true desires, you step into the role of the conscious creator of your life, answering the call of your future self with clarity, conviction, and unwavering faith. Intentional living is the art of consciously aligning every thought, feeling, and action with the vision of your future self. It is the practice of stepping out of the automatic patterns dictated by past conditioning and external circumstances to become a deliberate creator of your own reality. This way of living transforms the ordinary flow of existence into a purposeful journey where every moment is an opportunity to embody the life you desire. To live intentionally means to be fully present and aware of the power you hold in shaping your experience. Most people drift through life reacting to events, allowing their environment and habits to dictate their state of being. In contrast, intentional living requires a shift in consciousness, a turning inward to recognize that your inner world, your beliefs, and your emotions are the true architects of your outer reality. This shift begins with clarity of vision. You must know deeply who your future self is and what that self embodies. This clarity provides a guiding star that informs your daily decisions and behaviors. It is not enough to wish for change. You must define it in vivid detail, encompassing not just external goals, but the qualities and feelings of your highest self. This vision becomes the blueprint for intentional living. Once your vision is established, intentional living demands consistent attention and alignment. Your thoughts must be cultivated to support your desired state, rejecting negativity, doubt, and distraction. This mental discipline strengthens your focus, allowing your imagination and feeling to operate unhindered. Your emotions must be managed to reflect the peace, confidence, and joy of your future self, as feeling is the language through which your inner world communicates with the subconscious. Action is the external expression of this inner alignment. Intentional living is not passive but active. Every choice you make, how you speak, what you prioritize, how you respond to challenges, should reflect your commitment to becoming your future self. This does not mean perfection or rigidity, but a mindful engagement with life that honors your highest purpose. Living intentionally also means cultivating an environment that supports your vision. This includes the people you associate with, the media you consume, and the habits you nurture. Surrounding yourself with positive influences reinforces your new identity and minimizes distractions that can pull you back into old patterns. Your external environment becomes a reflection of your inner transformation. The practice of intentional living deepens your connection to higher self-guidance. As you align with your future self, you become more attuned to subtle insights, inspirations, and opportunities that lead you toward your goals. This inner guidance is a compass, helping you navigate complexities and uncertainties with confidence and grace. Importantly, intentional living fosters resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but when grounded in a clear vision and aligned action, you respond from strength rather than fear. This resilience is born from faith in your future self and the creative power of your consciousness, enabling you to persevere and adapt as necessary. This way of living also invites a deeper sense of fulfillment. When your daily life reflects your true desires and values, you experience greater satisfaction and joy. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances, but empowered by your inner harmony. This fulfillment radiates outward, enriching your relationships and contributions to the world. Intentional living is a continuous practice. It requires vigilance and commitment to maintain alignment amid the distractions of everyday life. Yet, the rewards are profound. A life shaped by conscious choice, guided by inner wisdom, and enriched by authentic expression. In essence, intentional living is the act of answering the signal from your future self. It is the embodiment of your highest potential in every thought, feeling, and deed. Through this practice, you transform not only your circumstances, but the very essence of your being, stepping fully into the destiny you were always meant to fulfill. Answering the call of your future self is not a passive act, but a profound engagement with the creative power within you. It is a sacred dialogue between who you are now and who you are destined to become. This call resonates as an inner signal, an invitation to awaken from the slumber of limitation and step fully into the reality that awaits. To answer this call is to embrace transformation and claim your rightful place as the conscious creator of your destiny. This process begins with recognition, an awakening to the presence of your future self within your consciousness. It is a moment of clarity when you realize that the life you desire is not a distant dream, but a present possibility. This recognition shifts your perspective, revealing that the timeline of your life is fluid and malleable, shaped by your inner beliefs and feelings. Answering the call requires courage. It means stepping beyond the comfort of familiar patterns and embracing uncertainty. Your future self beckons you to release old identities and limitations that no longer serve your growth. This release is essential, for holding on to the past creates resistance that blocks the flow of creative energy. By letting go, you open space for new experiences aligned with your higher purpose. The act of answering also involves faith, a deep trust in the unseen forces working on your behalf. Faith is not blind belief, but a confident expectation grounded in the certainty that your desires are already fulfilled within the realm of imagination. This faith fuels perseverance, enabling you to maintain alignment even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. Engagement with the call is expressed through intentional thought and feeling. You must consistently nurture the image and emotion of your future self, allowing these impressions to saturate your subconscious mind. This saturation rewires your mental and emotional patterns, aligning your vibration with the reality you seek. The subconscious, in turn, orchestrates circumstances that mirror your inner state. Answering the call also demands inspired action. While imagination and feeling set the creative process in motion, your actions serve as the physical expression of your inner convictions. These actions need not be grand, but must be consistent and aligned. Each step taken in harmony with your future self reinforces your new identity and moves you closer to manifestation. This sacred dialogue is ongoing. Your future self continually communicates through intuition, insight, and subtle guidance. Learning to listen and respond to these signals enhances your creative flow and deepens your connection to your highest potential. This responsiveness transforms you from a passive recipient of life's events into an active participant in the unfolding of your destiny. Moreover, answering the call elevates your consciousness. It expands your awareness beyond the limits of the egoic self and invites you into a state of unity with your true nature. In this state, you recognize that your power lies not in external circumstances, but in your ability to imagine and feel the reality you wish to embody. The transformation that follows is holistic. As you answer the call, your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and circumstances align in harmony. This alignment creates a resonance that attracts experiences and relationships supportive of your growth. It also fosters inner peace as you trust the process and embrace the unfolding journey. In practical terms, answering the call means making daily choices that reflect your commitment to your future self. It involves cultivating mindfulness to recognize when you drift into old patterns and consciously redirecting your focus. It means embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and maintaining a heart open to possibility. Ultimately, answering the call of your future self is the highest form of self-love and responsibility. It honors the divine potential within you and affirms your power to shape your reality. Through this act, you step beyond limitation and into the fullness of your creative expression. This is the path of awakening to your true self and living the life you were always meant to live. It is the fulfillment of your destiny, realized through the conscious choice to listen, believe, and act upon the signal your future self sends. Your journey toward answering the call of your future self is the most profound act of creation you will ever undertake. Each step you take, through imagination, feeling, meditation, belief, and intentional living, brings you closer to embodying the highest expression of who you truly are. The future self is not a distant dream, but a present reality, accessible through the conscious alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and action. By embracing this inner dialogue and faithfully responding to its signals, you transform not only your external circumstances, but the very essence of your being. Remember, the power to shape your destiny lies within you, waiting to be awakened and directed by your unwavering faith and deliberate choice. When you answer the signal of your future self, you step into a life of limitless possibility, fulfillment, and true creative mastery.